What happens when a smart, black, slightly geeky boy heads to 6th grade? Can he survive the challenges?
Author David Taylor introduces us to Baron Winters in this book. It's Diary of a Smart Black Kid, 6th grade. David Taylor is an author, playwright, songwriter, and producer. We are so happy he's here on the yellow couch. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You are an interesting man, as we learned during the commercial break, and we'll get to some of that, but I for certain want to start with your book because this is just wonderful. So thanks for being here. Let's talk a little bit about who Baron is. Who is Baron Winters?
Baron is both a unique and an every kid at the same time. So he's a unique combination of things. He's intelligent, he's smart, he's young, he's black, he's geeky, he's an inventor as well. And so the book is about, really, do you have the courage to be who you are? Because normally we lose ourselves in the turn into junior high school. Right when we turn into adolescence, if you're gonna put a mask on, that's when you put it on. So this book is about that journey and encouraging people, because I'm also a music teacher, and all of my returning adult students without fail come to me and say, I'm so sorry I stopped practicing my instrument. And that's always at around 13.
That they stopped, you mean?
That they stopped, that's right. And then when they come back as adults, they're like, I want to play again so badly, because they're sorry they gave it up.
And it's so hard to pick it up then. I mean, it's harder to pick it up then. When you're
not in terms of difficulty, just in terms of time. Right, you still have the capability, but you know, you got to squeeze one more thing into your adult brain. That's more of a challenge.
So at 13, there's this real kind of pivotal point. And is that, that's right about that 6th grade?
No, 6th grade is like 11 and 12. 13 is kind of like freshman in high school.
Okay.
So I pick him up right as he's going into that adolescent moment, because that's when you have to decide. And then he's got some unique challenges too, because being African American, there's always the, are you black enough thing? And so that features very prominently.
We just had a filmmaker on the show, and she is doing a small film called Black Girl Training on the exact same topic. A black girl who was adopted into a white neighborhood and feeling that once she was around more friends who are African American, she wasn't as black as they wanted her to be. Same concept you're saying. And I wonder, when you talk about the Diary of a Smart Black Kid, was it more important to include the word smart or black? Because I think of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And I wonder for you, what was most important in that title?
What was most important to me, well, they're kind of equally important, because the idea again is, what if you don't fit a definition?
Right.
Because we are really big, when I say we, I mean American culture. We're huge on labels, and we're huge on preconceived ideas. And what if you don't fit any of that? What if there's nothing about your life that is stereotypical? What do you do then? And so both words are actually equally important in that title.
You know, what we've really found is that authors draw from their own life experience. So is there any of Baron who kind of stems from your childhood or lessons you learned when you were growing up?
Oh, try not to laugh really loud on that.
Are you Baron?
We'll just say it's semi-autobiographical. I just leave that right there. But yes, to answer your question, there are definitely some things I drew on, like I studied Hebrew when I was in junior high school, and he does too. He befriends a rabbi, and they strike up a friendship. And so he's got to deal with people kind of getting his grill on that. So, you know, there's a thing about, how can I say it, being a good person or a good citizen or a good student that seems to be stressed when you're that age, but it's not always defined. And you have a lot of mixed messages. You know, you have, especially if your parents aren't together, that's another thing. Because you have different rules based on who you're with, and then you have another world at school, then you have another world with your friends. And so that's normally when we find that intense struggle. Am I gonna be me? And so many times we end up regretting those choices, and sometimes you gotta go back years later and say, you know what? Back when I was 11, I made a wrong turn. I should have stuck with that clarinet.
I knew who I was, right?
Right, that's right.
Very clear. I always say, like, as kids, we're pretty darn clear on who we are, and then we get a little confused at times as we get older and put that mask on. Like
Life smacks you with that.
Yeah, it really does. So what kind of inventor is he? You said he's an inventor.
Oh man, practical things, like he's got a eternal bubblegum machine he wants to make.
Amazing.
That makes it last forever?
Yes. Just put in a quarter and just crank out the gum.
Love it.
He's got a forget-o-vision. So it's like when you have a bullying experience, you can block out the memories, kind of like Eternal Sunshine. So you just put your glasses on and like, you know, what fight? And then my favorite one is the girl translator. So he's got a girl translator. So it's like, you know, you're struggling with girls. So it's like when a girl says this, she means this.
I know some grown-up men who
Yeah,
like
I think everyone needs that.
See, I'm trying not to laugh too loud.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
It's great. So who do you want to pick up this book? Is it for 6th graders specifically?
It's for 6th graders. It's for definitely for children of color, but it's for parents that have creative children or children that might not fit in a slot, to let you know that you need to let them know it's okay to be themselves. If they're, you know, because we're in a time where identity has become much more self-defined. Part of that is good, but part of that is really scary because it's new ground. And so for the parents, you have to let you know if your child is feeling their way through anything, it's okay. You know, support them. They don't have to look or be like everybody else.
I like Baron.
And one more thing I want to say is that when I was doing my research, I discovered there are no books for adolescent black boys. I mean, zero in that age range. So I also wanted to encourage young African-American men to, again, if you don't fit in a slot, I have a chapter in there about the book of blackness and who wrote it. So if you're not easily defined, then it's for you as well.
Are there going to be more books about Baron, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I'm working on the sequel right now.
Good for you.
Yeah, this is 6th grade, so I'm working on 7th grade.
And he doesn't sleep, so it'll be done tomorrow.
Yeah, because not only are you an author, but as we mentioned in the intro, you're a songwriter, you're a producer, you do all of these things. Talk a little bit about some of the music stuff that you've done.
Oh man, okay, I've written a song for Justin Bieber called
Justin Bieber.
Sugar and Spice. We also
Do you guys know who that is? Justin Bieber?
The Biebs.
yeah, me and my songwriting partner, Jerry Griffin, wrote that. We also wrote a companion song for Usher as well.
Wow.
Me and Jerry Griffin, songwriting partner. And then I did a civil rights play several years ago with the playwright McKinley Johnson and Marshall Titus. I was part of the songwriting team about a contemporary of Dr. King's. It was called Eye of the Storm, the Bayard Rustin story. Bayard Rustin was the man who brought a lot of the elements of the civil rights movement to the forefront, but he couldn't be the face of the thing because he was an ex-convict. He used to be part of the Communist Party and he was gay. So he couldn't be the face of the thing. So history kind of swallowed his name up.
Interesting.
So we wrote a lot of music for that.
Wow.
I've worked with Cuba Gooding Sr., put him back on the charts when he was still alive. We did a cover of Donny Hathaway's This Christmas, and that's the first time he'd been on the chart in quite some time. Dave Koz played on one of my adult contemporary songs called I Wish That Was Me, and he killed it. That man was born with a saxophone in his hand. It was incredible.
Amazing.
I worked with the James Taylor Singers on a song I wrote called Magic Holiday. They did the background, so I've done a lot.
I love how you said, you know, Baron doesn't really fit into one slot, and it sounds like you don't either, just like you said. I think that's the magic of life, when you don't really fit in one slot and you just kind of have so many talents that you pursue, because clearly you've got a purpose in life. Here's where you can pick up the book. It's at Chicago Pop. Oh, actually, this is where you're going to be at, ChicagoPopCultureCon.com. You're going to be there on November 24th. So make sure you check that out. But you can get a copy of Diary of a Smart Black Kid, 6th grade, as well, and find out more about that on our website, themorningblend.com. So thanks so much for being here, David.
Thank you.